Hey guys, so 88 palette bingo tag. Many of you may be thinking to yourself, what in the world is that? Well, if you watch Emily Noel, then you already know what this is. This is a tag that was started by Emily, and it was actually a friend of hers, a makeup artist friend of hers, that came up with the idea for this. So she did this on her channel, and if you don't know who Emily is, I'll put a link to her. I'll put a link to that video if I can. That might be difficult. I'm going to put a link to her channel, and you know how to find it from there. So you can watch her video if you want to see how this all started. I'm going to change something that she did that won't really, I'm not bending the rules, I'm not changing the rules. Let me explain to you how this all works. Coastal Scents has these 88 palettes that have 88 eyeshadows in them, and there's lots of similar things. There's some by e.l.f, there's some by BH Cosmetics, there are lots of companies, Morphe. There are a lot of companies that have these big, massive palettes. And Emily used a Coastal Scents 88 palette, and I happen to have a couple of those myself. I don't have the one that she used, but I don't think that's really that important. She just basically said to use any giant palette that you have. So I have the original, and I have the Ultra Shimmer. And the idea behind this was to randomly pick eyeshadows, except you don't get to pick them yourself. They get picked by number. First of all, let me tell you that it would have probably been easier to use the original, but I decided to make this even more challenging for myself, and I'm going to use the Ultra Shimmer palette. So I have to use all shimmer shadows on my eyes. However, one of the rules are you can use other shadows in addition to the 5 that get picked from the palette you're using, but I think it would be a lot more challenging and fun to not do that and just use the 5 that randomly get picked from here. Now what she did was she numbered her palette. She put stickers across the top, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, blah, blah, blah. And then she put down the sides 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and on and on. And then she put pieces of paper with numbers in a container, and then she had her husband pick out slips of paper. Well, honestly, there's a much easier way to do this than to go through that much work. There are websites online that will randomly choose numbers, and I figured that would be a lot easier than ripping up little pieces of paper. So I'm going to use, or I did use, randomnumbergenerator.com, and I'll put a link to that too in the description box if you want to check it out. It's kind of, anytime you need random numbers, it's so easy because you can set up the parameters the way you want. And in this case, there are is it 11, 3, 6, 9? Yeah, it's 11 shadows that go across and then 8 that go down. So I set up my parameters to go 1 through 11, and then I picked 5 numbers and wrote them down. And then 1 through 8, I changed the parameters to be 1 through 8 and picked 5 more numbers and wrote them down. And so these are the numbers that Random Generator selected, and then these are the swatches of the shades that I have to use. Now, I sat and studied that for a very long time. Let me show you the colors in the palette of what came up. The first one that came up was 3 across and 6 down. And that is this shade right here. And as you can see, I wore a shirt that I thought would correspond well with this look. So 3 across and 6 down is this shade right here. And I do have a fondness for these cool tone aqua type colors, so I was kind of happy about that. Then the next shade that came up was 4 across and 8 down. And this is an emerald green. And I think it'll look okay with the aqua, but it's probably not the best green to pair with a cool toned aqua because emerald is, you know, it's a little bit warmer, but that's okay. I can make it work. And then the next shade that came up was 2 across and 5 down. And this, here we go, right here. This is a gold, and it's kind of a warm gold, so that doesn't really go that well with the aqua shade, but we're going to play by the rules here and just, you know, use what came up. The next shade is what scared the crap out of me. It was 8 across and 5 down. 3, 6, 8, 3, 4, 5. And this shade right here. At first I thought it was a bright pink, but it's actually a purple. So I thought, well, in order to tie that color into the look, why don't I wear a lipstick that is that shade and maybe it will tie things together. So the two, you know, by wearing the aqua shirt and the purple lipstick, I thought maybe we can do something with this. And then the last shade that came up was 11 across and 5 down. And that's this shade right here, which is a, I'm going to say golden brown right there. So that's good because it's a neutral. And so there's a mixture of cool and warm tones that came up. Basically, I've got 3 warm tones, 1 cool tone, and emerald green. I don't know, I guess, would that be a neutral shade? I'm not sure about that one. I'm not sure if that's warm or cool. I think it's just neutral. So, we'll see how it goes. I did all my makeup except for my eyes. I figured I would start from there. And we'll see how this goes. I mean, it might not come out that great, but I figured it would be a lot of fun to try it. And if you want to try this yourself, and then either do a video or take a picture of your finished look, what Emily was asking people to do is to post on Twitter and or Instagram hashtag palette bingo. Is that right? Yeah. Hashtag palette bingo, so that we could all look and see the different looks that were created. All right, so let's get started then. The first product I'm going to use is Wet n Wild Mega Glow Dual-Ended Contour Stick. Now, if you watched my Get Ready With Me video the other day, I showed you that I use this on my eyes, and I also have one by NYX that I use. It just depends. I kind of prefer this one because the colors that come in it, so you get this beige highlight shade, and then you get sort of a light brown tan contour. And I've been using this either as highlight or contour as a base. And sometimes I use that contour just on its own if I'm not doing a tag video. So anyways, this is what I'm going to use as my eyeshadow base today. I'm going to start by taking some of this beige shade, and I'm just going to use my finger, and I'm going to put that right where the shadow would go for my highlight shade. These Coastal Scent shadows are really inexpensive and not the most pigmented shadows in the world, so this is just going to help the eyeshadows perform a little bit better. And so that's why, instead of using a traditional eyeshadow primer, I like using this type of thing. And then I'm going to put this in the crease area. And then I'm just going to blend that a little bit. So we're going to put shadows on top of this. And then I'm going to switch back to the light shade again. And I'm going to put that on my lids. I have an e.l.f. eyeshadow base that is actually very similar to this. And that's what kind of gave me the idea to try using this as an eyeshadow base. And it works. So you talk about a multi-purpose product. These double-sided contour highlighting sticks can be used for a lot of different things. Okay, so let's get started. I'm scared. All right. So what I decided to do was use the I'm going to use the gold shade as my highlight shade. And I'm going to use an e.l.f. contour brush from my browbone highlight. I feel like this brush is kind of small to use as a contour brush, so I like using it for highlight sometimes. All right, here we go. So that gold shade, oops, sorry about the reflection, that gold shade right there. I think in this particular case, it's going to be a blessing in disguise that these eyeshadows aren't that pigmented. That way, if you're not using a lot of shadow, it's not going to look too crazy. Oh good, you can barely see that. Yeah, this is a good thing because otherwise I don't think that this would be a workable thing doing this palette bingo if you weren't using this type of palette. All right, next I am going to use, let's see, I'm going to use that purple. Let's see, let's make sure I get the right one. 8 across and 5 down. So it's that really bright purple right there. And I'm going to use that in the crease, which I know that sounds crazy, but I'm going to also put something else with it right after that. Oh, this is a Real Techniques brush. I think it's one of the ones that come in the eye kit. Yeah, all the writing has worn off. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that golden brown shade. Let's see, this one right here. And I'm going to put some of that in the crease as well over that pink. And this time I'm going to use an e.l.f. concealer brush. I'm going to start by putting that on the just on the outside part. Like that. Then I'm going to do the other eye and then go back and blend it. The idea was to mix the purple and brown together so that I wouldn't have just purple in the crease. Because I have a lot of red in my skin, so I don't think I would be able to pull off that shade of purple just on its own. As long as you use all 5 colors, you're not breaking any rules. You can use them however you want. And like I said, you can even add more if you want to. Okay, so that doesn't look too bad blended together. Alright, next I'm going to use that light aqua shade. Well, it's actually not that light. It's actually pretty bright. But I don't think it will apply that bright. And I'm going to use my ring finger. I'm going to put this on my lids. Okay. And next I'm going to take some of that emerald green color, which was this one right here, and I'm going to put that on a small brush. This is a Zoeva Luxe pencil brush. And I'm going to pick up some of that shade. And I'm going to put that along the lower lash line. Yeah, this is a much warmer green. So not the best green to go with that aqua, but it was kind of fun to you know, have these random colors and try to figure out what to do with them. All right, let's see. It said that we could use, so that's all 5 shades used, and then it said we could use any other shade we wanted to. You know what? I'm just gonna stick to what was done here. So let's put some eyeliner on. I find that black eyeliner can totally pull any look together, especially when using a lot of colors like this. So I'm gonna do that next. And I've got my makeup mirror here that I'm gonna have to use to apply this. I don't want to do it with the webcam because that might be difficult. Oh, this is just a Maybelline Master Kajal Cream Kohl Liner. And then so I just did my waterline, and now I'm going to do my tight line. Hold on, I think I got something in my eye. It's probably a piece of glitter or something. Okay, now I'm going to do my waterline. And I'm going to use Maybelline Lash Sensational Luscious Mascara. And I always start at the bottom. Okay, so that didn't turn out too bad. Actually, I think by layering the brown over the purple, it made it much more wearable. I mean, this is a really bright combination with the aqua eyes with the bright purple lips, but I wanted to tie the aqua and purple colors into the look to try to make it look like it's supposed to go together. I'm gonna go do something with my hair and I'll be right back. Okay, so this is the finished look using random numbers from my Coastal Scents Ultra Shimmer palette. And thank you, Emily, for coming up with this tag. It was a lot of fun, and I'll put links to the random number generator website and Emily's YouTube channel in the description box. All the products that I use will be listed in the description box as always, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.